What's going on, bafowethu? It's your boy MX, and yabona namhlanje we've got a special guest, rapper, musician, producer, Lord of the South, our father, Lordscript.
Yes, sir, man. Salute. My boy MX, day one. You already know what time it is. I had to pull up, man.
Pino in Tash, Mntase, some Mntase. I'm feeling cousin, Shibilika, Pema no Sigilek, Kevin, Sabele,
Fethu kuhamba kanjani dog?
Dog, I'm good, man. Can't complain. I think I'm very dope. I'm in a very good space right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, man.
Fethu, thank you ukuthi ufike dog. Besibuye sihlangane estradini randomly when you're down from Joburg, and I was like, dog, I gotta get you on. Fanele sketch it out. But I think it would be wrong. Mengasho ukuthi congrats on the success. Congrats on the hard work. Congrats on the abundance. You've been putting in work for many years. A lot of these guys just like, who's Lordscript? Yeah, boy, and it's like, yeah, they know Mntase, they know Shibilika, but they don't know Lordscript. So I think for anyone who's watching, if you can just give a brief introduction, ukuthi Lordscript sobani, uphuma kephi, and udumengani.
Lordscript, all the way from emlazi, born and raised there, south side, hence I'm the king of the south. You know what I'm saying? Been rapping for 16 years now and going, you know what I'm saying? Started as a battle rapper back then. Namachito, MX, Sibamba, the Pet Center, with amagrootman, Zagwe, Abdus, RP to our brother, Insane. You know what I'm saying? We've been doing this thing for a while, man. So yeah, that's now where we at now.
And that's one thing I find commendable and respectable. Ukuthi, you've stayed true to who you are, but you've also developed with what's going on. Ngokubona kwakho dog, when did you actually start feeling
I think when can I say I actually realized? Because obviously, you know, Tina, we've been pushing for a long time, and with this thing, it requires ukubhekezela. You have to be patient and understand that it can take you even 20 years. Urikiri blew up after 10 years, and he was there releasing music. But kalukmazi late, if it's in a fuka, that was late. So I think with me, it was when I first moved to Joburg, because I moved to Joburg twice. The first time I moved to Joburg was 2015. When I moved there, it was just even the reception of abantu meaning bahlonipayo. The way every time they hear my stuff, it's like the reaction is not what I expect. So when I was there, I realized I'm like, actually they shot this and I shy, they shot this. Because at first we asked what's okay in the plan. There's a difference knowing what's blind and knowing if something is gonna work. Because at the end of the day, the music thing is a business. So every time I meet up, I interact with all the big names. When I got there, I saw no man. So from there I was like, even if anything happens, until it actually happens. Of which later then obviously when I dropped my second tape, because I had King of the South EP out, with NastyC, Witness the Funk, Celeste Mike. So when I dropped the second one, which is my first tape, because the other one is an EP, King of the South, and then I dropped Monotheism, which was my first tape. And then because I did a launch before I went back to Joburg in 2016. So when I went back there, I was like, no, man. Get shy, the reception I got when I was in Mousa figure, anything that comes, you take it. Because I had already created connects. I was cool with amagrootman, aka I was cool with Uriki. He's the one who actually DM'd me the first Cotton Fest I performed at. So what I say, yeah, also shy. So like I could see even the love that I was getting from people that I respect was like, no. And
Pets, I think that's one thing I love, like through Monotheism and King of the South. You didn't, you always had that hunger, dog. Like the bars were there. But at the same time, you're like, Exe, this is your father. And you were unapologetic.
Yeah.
But before, this is CNA, I was this is figured out, dog. This nigga don't know you cramped. What was that like? But even katsu cramp, but dog, mina ukwazi. Were ehlezi ekhaya lathi Exe. Lalela fethu and understand lo mjita ngamabhethi ngokurapper yonke into, dog. He's one of the guys you got to look out for. What do you remember from back then?
Ukuthi mina, my problem is I don't be yabo mo izinto kumele ungayenza unless ublinding na wonke umuntu kuyona. It's either you are one of the dopest noma ublinding nabo bonke or rather ungayenzi. So anything that I did, I always made sure ukuthi I have to be the person mo cabanga ikramp ucabanga mina. So even back then, like we were running the streets because Cramp was like the biggest thing, dog. Even at that time, I was already rapping, but because I was dancing, dog, the way Crumb took over the city, it was like the thing, because also dance was hectic at the time in the country. There'd be shows like Masters of Rhythm would travel from here to Durban to Joburg for it's the biggest dance competition in South Africa. You would travel overseas. At one point, we brought the creator of Crumb to South Africa, so that was like one of the biggest experiences ever. Mina beni costly, bro. I used to fly. I used to ngangigiba nemali yebhasi. Mhlawumbe uthothi ngino 5 clip. Ukusuka la ibhasi eCape Town, ngishaya ibhasi. Anginayo imali yokubuya because ngiyazi of engwini. Ngangisuka la mina ngeThekwini ngazi ngithi boy ongibole 5 clip ngizokhokhela mase ngiwinile ngale. Now xa ukhuluma ngayo. Ngifike ngikamba take a bus the day before because bus to Cape Town is like 24 hours. Ngifike ekseni ngithola indawo yokugeza ngishintshe ngeke kwi-competition ngiwine mase ngiyandiza ngilungu. I used to do that every time. So I think that part of my life was actually crazy. It was a dope experience, man. I still miss it. I still even follow that, even though I don't get time, because dancing and rapping requires the same amount of time and effort and commitment. So it's either the other is your career or the other is not. So yeah, I think that was a really dope time. It was a dope era in Durban in general. So yeah, man.
No, man, I'm sure abantu who are watching are appreciating the gems, they're appreciating the journey. Yonke into, and nami mfethu from just watching from a distance, I can say ukuthi ngiyahlonipha. One thing that I love about Lordscript was that normal ba. Always love, high energy, passion, creativity. And that's one thing that I've truly respected about you, Tandai, which brings me to my next question. Uskima no V. You're working with UV. Can you talk about the relationship?
Yeah, our Veeartmedia is like my brother, he's my blood. He's one of the people that support him during the first time I met him. When I met him, it was, I think, also 2015, just before I moved back to Joburg, because Angiti has citizenship in UK and here. So he usually spent half of the year in the UK, and then my wazila figure something with July lana till December here. So we did a lot of work together when we met, because he shot it like he does visuals. He's also like an all-rounder. He's a producer, he's a photographer, he's a video editor, like who isn't there. So when we met, like bro, like we just clicked, like dog, when's this thing? Let's work. So from there, he's just been my brother. At a certain point, he took on management on me. So when I first moved to Joburg, he was the one who even engale, dog. He used to do things for me, because like I'm not a person like I like to do what I do. So especially when I have to do admin, or signing contract, I hate stuff like that. I'm not an admin person, so he would take on that. Him just dog. Now ashama invoice, ama gig, engale, dog. Everything like that technicality. So we both the music side, we both partners with Veeartmedia Music Global. So he was 50-50 partnership. So I handle the music side. I would link him in with other new artists. He would call me, yo, dog, who's hot right now? Would work with that. So like even on a personal level, like I'm not a person that opens up a lot personally, but he's the only person that makes him phone and say, dog, I'm going through something like this and this. Even at home, I don't even speak to them like that. So that's why I'm saying he's like really my brother. He's my blood. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I even met the old ladies that side in the UK when she came down around this now. I was booked in Durban, I think. Now in April, my phone. What's I'm fine. Guys, figure all late. I want you to shango good. That's okay. I go perform and here. So he's basically like my brother. You know what I'm saying?
No, but and Utando Lolo, and big shout out to him. I was bringing him up because Namu cool behind the scenes. Just speaking on brotherhood and Utando, dog, I want to tap into your relationship. Emlazi, ngayithanda fethi indlela osiqhenya ngayo ukuthi you from NUZ. You're the king of the South, uspana nabo o musiqholiq. You're holding it down. Emlazi, can you talk to the brotherhood that you guys have? Because mina mengibuka, I respect it and I love it. Like, damn, bro, I wish I was from Emlazi now.
Yeah, I think so can you talk like abantu basemlazi, it's just always been like that. So we look at it, okay, firstly, well, we're putting on our city because we our hood, because you know, like where we from, especially because it's such shows, it's no music, but we know most of the time it shows this valelile ngaphandle, but like they never used to take you seriously. Even back when was so blind. The only person who was able to do that, even from Durban, was NastyC, because he was undeniably dope. Because you can't. But even before that, like it was always hard from Abantu, Base Lokshini, or from Durban to actually, you know what I'm saying, to actually get out there if you're in Joburg. And I'm a big homie, did that for us. So big Nas, or Danger. That's why I respect so or Danger, or Mampincha, the Nas big homies, because thina sinenkani sinale yanto ukuthi thina sobo semlazi lokusitshela everyone. I think anyone you'll meet wasemlazi unale energy ukuthi sithembe mina wasemlazi and sintu emphunga sekhaya ngekusitshela. So it's always been like that. Also just putting on our hood. I appreciate my hood so much because it made me who I am. The goal is always to move out of the hood, but the principles and the lessons that you learn, they make you become the person that you be when you're outside there. So I'll always pick up for my hood, man. It made me who I am. The principles I have from the streets that I'm applying in the game is all because I grew up there. You know what I'm saying?
No, so that's love. Okay, Fethu, so you dropped your first video, I think on Smith on Pete the gown.
Oh, yeah.
Was that the first?
No, that wasn't the first one.
That wasn't?
The first one was my first single. The first single that put me on in Durban when he was like, no, now this thing is doing it. My first single from King of the South is called Whip. Yeah, it's called Whip. Yeah, the one I shot you on Florida Road.
Yes.
On driving down Florida Road. That was like my first music video I ever dropped. So which is Whip. So when I started performing that song, because I dropped the single first, then I dropped the tape. So when I dropped the tape, now people actually caught up to the song later. But no, man, there's that thing. So yeah, Whip was my first, and then the one you were talking about is actually that's later because that's from Monotheism. It's Never Be Rude featuring musiqholiq.
Yeah, musiqholiq.
Yeah, but from Whip, like my first 3 videos was Whip, then it Get Lit. Yeah, shoot off V actually. He's the one who shot it. That's also from King of the South. Yeah, and then It Never Be Rude was my first single I dropped before Monotheism, the tape. Yeah, that was actually my first like really lit video because umuntu angishuta naye yabo blind uspana notira for Fortune Films utube shot that one yabo and it's like now I was already leveled up. Yeah, so it's like yabo ngishutela ngasekhaya semlazi lapho umgaqwa ngasekhaya nje when I'm wearing the coats and the goggles. Yeah, that was when the level was up now.
And that's one thing that engigcwalayo ngayo ukuthi wena uzoqoka nomini and there's just something so attractive about being authentic to who you are. Veeartmedia, asikhuluma club culture, dog, because when it comes to performances, you always give 1,000. Let's talk about that. Performing in Durban, performing in Joburg, the club scene. Let's tap into that.
I think with that part, because the making the music thing is how the way I view it, it's compulsory because you have to have a product. So fun no to so I always tell niggas they mustn't focus too much in the industry, the recording and I can say the recording and the performing. Okay, the recording itself is probably 10% of things that you need to do, because really you have to have something to sell and give to the people. So that's the product. The performing is the most important thing to me, because that's how you win the fans. I've seen a lot of people abanengoma ezimnandi masumbuka stage uthi aw dog wenzani manje akakwazi ngisho perform ingoma yakhe is high energy uyadabukisa stage. You like, dog, you can't make a song so late. Manje ilalele ngamaphone ngiyasangana mase ngikubuka wena uyangibhora. So I always tell people like the performance side is one of the most important thing, because that's where you sell it to the consumer ukuthi sengiyona lento engiyishoyo kule ngoma. Yabo. So I always pride myself when I do that. And another thing that helps me is that most of the music that I make is stage friendly. Like mang recording ngoma ngicabanga ukuthi ngizoyiperforma kanjani. So yeah, it's been crazy, bro. Like obviously back home, but I always think I have more fun performing in Joburg than in Durban.
Why is that?
That's because, first of all, it's the fact that that's in Durban, the only time we actually get to. Before it was better because bekuba nama show like festivals, like hip hop shows. In Joburg, I'm a hip hop show. I don't have to go to the club to perform. I'll be booked in a festival. Kono Cotton Festi. There's Back to the City. There's a lot of hip hop things that are happening. Not just Utmelu's clapping lights. For you to perform, you have to go to the club. There's no more shows like it used to be before, like or hip hop fest or whatever. So I think that's why I enjoyed more that side. And also, I think. In Joburg, the difference between Durban and Joburg. In Durban, they receive you or they react to a person according to they know who they are. In Joburg, my best they're blind. They will show you the love, bro. They don't get when I just got to Joburg performing some of the songs from Monotheism. But they were wilding out. We about my lyrics, but because they fucking with what they're hearing, dog, and they having the energy. So it's like, yeah, bro. For me, I think that's my most favorite thing of making the music thing is when I get to perform the thing. Because even testing out like songs that are not out, that's how I even figure out what I'm gonna drop next. Just keep teasing it out. Shibilika before I kept teasing it out. We set slapping Mntase before the last song. Shibilika, no. This is actually what I must drop next. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, it's crazy, dog. Like the performance thing is, I think most artists, that's the advice I can give artists is to work on your performance. Because with me, it's different because when I used to dance, so now the advantage I know how to present myself to people. I know how to manipulate the crowd. I can see who perform it's how perform elokishini choose ingoma ehlukile ngiyakwazi ukufunda abantu kubona ukuthi no le shandis le kaphi isilungu kakhulu ngebayifile la lokishini nothi ngimashanga le eveneka mashaya. So it's a skill, bro. The same way you go record and learn, it's also a skill. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
It's bro. Let's move on, bro. Things are popping off. You guys drop Mntase. Let's talk about that, dog.
Yeah, Mntase was crazy because we made it during lockdown. So what happened?
Shout out to Charlie.
Yeah. Yeah, so in lockdown, okay, actually this is what happened. I just came back from Durban because I was in Joburg. I came back, then I went back to Joburg and I said we locked down. So as it's locked down, we need to lock in because I'm staying in Maboneng, which is kind of like town. It's a town, yeah, Midrand, which is like kind of far from each other. So then Midrand go good. So then we had one day we decided like I was like shy and I'm shy. So I Ubered, it's shy Uber, I land to Ox Cable. Mangilanda Oxy, siyadlula siya ku Black Street. Masifika ku Black uhleli no Dr Pepper, uhleli no Chenchelo. So we get there, waste no time. Sithenga iplug, sithenga ukudla, stock yonke into, so isivalele studio. Sifika studio, audio sims, angisendele pack of 10 because every month he gives me a pack of 10 of beats. Pack of 10 unzip. We played 2 beats. That must feel all starts. That no. Asadluli must be shy lo shandisi. Qala majudo umuntu usephethe phone. Yadlala ibeats umuntu usephethe phone. Bashaye hook Black bayihlanganise no Ox. Athi Ox I know Black. Awushaye wena nale hook. Ayishaye Black. After that it's in machine.
Smash.
It's in machine. The next day we shot of weeks in, we shot the video. Next day after the song. This is all happening in one house. Wednesday we record the song. Thursday we wake up. Dr. Pepper says shy set up. Utati montake waibega. Utati lama sondake oshali ya set up. So shoot a video. Friday we dropped the trend. Just like that, bro.
Dog, insane. But you see, I think this talks so well to the type of person you are. Energy yakho. Someone cannot be around you and be mad. Like you radiate this.
Azwani, but it's highly unlikely.
Exactly, dog. It's that like how you radiate that positivity and energy. And I think Uguti, dog, keep that shit going. Speaking of, okay, so that's what dropper, you killing the shows. And then like Shibilika, dog.
Yeah. Also, Shibilika now, actually, when we made it no Cool Cats, it was during lockdown. So I come down from what did I? Oh, I think I came to see my kid. Come down from Joburg and Fige. It's me so Sengilana. I book a studio. There's a studio here in South Beach. It's actually really dope. I didn't know. I'm only a student in Seaport.
Oh yeah,
there's a studio actually in a move. It's blinding. I didn't even know. Now I'm not Hosan and corner. Nigga 7 this is studio. So there, for music and museum because music blind when it comes to engineering is actually better than me because we can all pre-mix and make ourselves sound the way that we want to sound semi. But I tweak even his whole album he mixed it himself.
Oh wow.
Yabo. So ngimlando music ngibizele upeze kumina then afike masifika 9 from the same pack of 10 Mntase. Sayona the pack of 10 ngithatha ibeat athi Cool Cats I know iyona sifake by the time sifaka abeqala ebhala iverse so Cool Cats uyabhala dog like he just jumps straight to it abhale. So he's this type of person that ubhala into eningi and then he's like let's choose from there. So from what he wrote ngathi no yabo le party lena we can actually take it because with our slang emlazi because now wasemlazi Cool Cats angithi umlazi Milano. So ukushibilika there's two terms. It's the literal meaning ukuwa and fall and then there's the finessing how you moving in the game. So sasihlebe sikhuluma naye it's a dog body and keep Mntase uyashibilika ne ngabona kade unosibani bane uyashibilika sasayazini ishibilika ishandisa shaya will start because that's how it starts with this verse and then the hook goes in because we arrange it that way. Let's take this part make it a chorus because it's very relatable with what we are doing, you know what I'm saying. So and then and then Cool Cats he likes the way musiqholiq always finessed up music wakumele asiproduce kuphela shaya ingoma yami no Cool Cats what I say music if it shandisa if it's awisho la we fake that maskandi type of feel so masifika kurate ngoba uhlezi umuzi ethi funa masingena ziwe yabo so befuna that feel ukuthi ekuse inesintu kodwa new school so yeah and then after that yashuba.
Fethu, speaking of umsoco nokufaka isintu fethu, I think it would be wrong to not shout out Uskindi.
No, that's my boy.
Yeah, fethu, so Shibilika remix fethu. Let's talk about that a little.
I know what's kwashuba kakhulu ke lapha. So after obviously I dropped the original and then the way the people received the original about the hood was relating so much and then then I spoke to the boys. I think the first person I spoke to was Ukubhekezela. He told him like to us, he's Shandis because as you can see, everyone on the remix, Mntase we know understand obviously our terminology. I could have put anyone from the game from Joburg, but it wouldn't make sense because that is like a Durban slang term. Shibilika hit up Black is like I know pull up. He Ubers me. He's like hey, what's the boy? Ubers me there. I landed at the studio there. Didn't waste no time. We recorded the verse for a remix. From there, kanti kuzoba ne-Ivyson tour the next week. The next week kube ne-Ivyson tour, and I'd spoken to Nasty before, but he was in the USA that time. That time he was doing the USA tour. Elibele dog ungayikhiphi ngakabuyi I swear to you ngizokushayela ivara. And I didn't understand until ngilizwe lela verse. So he comes back ngize kuyena ku-Ivyson tour. Ivyson tour ayitshena ukuthi mhlawumbe mina sengivele ngagive up ngayikhipha ingoma. Mhlawumbe sebeqedile lo. Ngathi no dog ngikulindile nje ukuthi ngikulindile. Wathi say no more. Ngamsendela simile kanje ngayisenda wathi mangifika endlini ngizoshaya iverse phela a few days he sent it back. That was how we wilded out dog because now nobody has ever heard Nasty rapping in vernacular like that. Yabo. he's never heard anybody rapping in vernac like that. So we walled out same days, no music, because I was waiting for bonke amavesi all over khona ngizobahlafuna kahle yabo. Bawasende bonke. Then music, because he's always with me, we actually did them back to back. Ngarekhodela mhleli kanje na warekhodela ke sihleli kanje, because that's my brother, that's my boy, I'm always with him, I do everything with him yabo. So and then yeah bro, phone audio mark, I'm like, dog, you my boy, you know what I'm saying, you always support my shit, you always hold me down. Ngifuna the track as a DJ host or when that'so audio mark is like, say no more, send the tech yakhe sayihlanganisa. I gave it to one of my favorite producers and artists from Durban. I don't know if you know P-Sign. Yeah, so he's the one who actually mixed and mastered the whole remix, both the Shibilika original and the remix. Yeah, so I dropped that, then it was a rap after that. I had the game with the nuts like this, because all niggas had their remixes, dog. But dropped the remix, then after that it was history, man, you know.
My dog, if it's a Shibilika, and it's one of those tracks, just like Mntase, just like Onka Ama hits or Akipile, the undeniable, unfuckwithable, and yeah, bruh, like, hey, she fits. But this is leading me to want to ask what you got next. Ngoba you cooking, dog. What you got coming up?
Yeah, I got a few singles coming out with one of my favorite people I've always wanted to work with. There's one I have with MT, there's another one I have with Sjava. So that's gonna be off the album I'm dropping. The album is called Our Father. It's coming, you know what I'm saying? Our Father. There's a lot of collaborations besides those. Album Blindy. It's a lot of people I've always wanted to work with that are on the album, and it's my debut album. It's my first album, so I'm really trying to, you know what I'm saying, do the most with it.
No, Fethu, this has been nothing but phenomenal. Ngiyabonga Fethu for
shout out, brother. Shout out, my brother. Always pull up for you, my day one.
Fethu, flying the flag high for Durban, for emlazi. Respect and love everything you do, and I'm super excited about what you got coming up. Where can they find you, my dog?
It's Lordscript_SA everywhere. Lordscript_SA Instagram, Lordscript_SA Twitter, Facebook is just Lordscript. That's my page. Lordscript_SA on TikTok. Let's do it the right thing.
Issue and low verified. Don't get played.
Got the blue tick coming with it. Don't play me.
Exactly. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. The Catch Up DBN. We out. Issue.